all the games, the whole season you're undefeated. But if you win 11 games, you're unbeaten until you get beat, which the Steelers did. Steelers got beat, okay? And they've lost 3 games in a row. So now I call them the reelers. You know, as in they're reeling. You know, they say, you know, a team is reeling because they can't stop. You know, you can't stop the line from going out now. You cast the line and one of these big fish get hooked in the mouth and they freak out and just start swimming real hard and fast, trying to get off of it. And your reel is you just losing, line after line. Just your reel is spinning. So the Steelers are reeling. They're spinning. They can't stop the bleeding. They can't stop losing. They've lost 3 in a row now. And they lost this last one to the Bengals. And they're playing the Colts today. And they're losing that game. So the Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers, have now become the reelers. Oh, because I'm not a Steeler fan. So I find humor in that. So the NBA is back playing. They're in their regular season. I know it seems like the NBA just ended, but usually the NBA ends in June. They have their championship in the summertime, and then that's it until it starts back up in December. But this year, because of COVID, they shut down and then they started back up in the bubble, which was in Florida, and they just finished their championship somewhere around Halloween, was it? Anyway, that's why seems like they just kept playing the whole, just never stopped playing. Yeah, they did stop. They had the championship. Lakers won that, and now they're back. But they were off for a couple of months there, the NBA. But they're back now, regular season. They're going to shorten the season. The NBA is to 72 games instead of 82. They usually play 82 game regular season. Then they start the playoffs. But this year, because of COVID, even though by the time they get to the end of their regular season, we will be pretending that COVID doesn't exist anymore. Because, we've had, by that time, by the summertime we're supposed to have everyone who wants to be vaccinated. And so that will douse the spread of COVID and we'll be back to normal, hopefully. We'll see how that plays out. But that, in a nutshell, is sports. We're going to take another short break. We'll be right back right after this.
You're listening to a man who's almost intelligent, very close. Welcome back to Probably Offensive. One hell of a show. Yeah.
We're back. Before we leave the sporting conversation, there is one other thing I'd like to mention about sports, and that's because of social justice. The causes that we've seen, the landscape has changed, and since George Floyd was murdered by the police in Minneapolis, and that was caught on video, and the whole country and basically the whole world had a reaction to that happening. Now, here in recent months, I've seen some interviews with the president, and one of them was Brett Favre. Brett Favre, the Hall of Fame quarterback, or ex-quarterback for the Packers, was asking President Trump about protests and players taking a stand and taking a knee and really using their platform to promote social justice. And Brett Favre was against players taking a stand. He was talking about the ratings were down in basketball, and talking about the fans don't want to see players talking about social issues. And the whole time this was going on and I was watching it on TV, I was thinking, what a jackass Brett Favre is. What a jackass. I mean, here the NBA players are in standing up for what they believe in social justice. Social justice. And, yes, the ratings were down. But I think what the players were doing, first off, they have to have courage because, a lot of people don't want to see that. They don't want to see people standing up for what they believe in, and they don't want to see athletes doing it during the games. And that's exactly what was going on in the NBA. And the league office, the commissioner, they allowed that to happen. They didn't fight it. And yes, the ratings were down. But here's the thing that dumbass dickface Brett Favre, who I respected as a football player. I mean, I'm not a Green Bay Packer fan, but, I respect great athletes because I'm a sports fan. But here's what Brett Favre doesn't understand, that the NBA players, the ones who decided to speak out for racial and social injustice, they were doing what they felt was the right thing to do. And that stance was more important than worried about the ratings being down. Okay, the ratings will come back, Brett Favre. The ratings will be okay. Yeah, some people are not going to like it, but a lot of people didn't like the fact that Rosa Parks decided she was going to sit in the front of the bus. Okay, it wasn't a popular point of view at that time. It wasn't a popular point of view when Martin Luther King was marching because of racial injustice. Okay, they got beat up, put in jail, and a lot of other things happened because they were standing up for what they believed in. Okay, so shame on you, dickface, for discouraging or not understanding the fact that protesting, and my hats goes off to all the protesters for racial injustice. The protest that happened back in the summer was a beautiful thing because it might not have been popular. You might have gotten criticized, and you might have had a lot of jackasses saying a lot of things. But it's important for us to take a stance sometimes against something that's wrong. And you got to have some courage because of idiot, jackass dick faces like Brett Favre, who are very popular superstars, and they're going to come out and they're going to side with Trump. And, and it makes people who are supportive of Brett Favre and President Trump come after you for standing up for what you believe in. So NBA players, and yes, there's, a lot of superstar athletes and very popular people, but a lot of people are going to say, well, I don't want to see my athletes do this, or I don't want, it's basically the shut up and dribble defense. And that's sort of what Brett Favre is promoting when he questions athletes standing up for what they believe in during the sporting events, like wearing t-shirts or putting Black Lives Matter on your jersey, in his opinion, is not something that you should be doing. But that's what a protest is all about. It's not about damaging anybody's property or hurting anybody. It's about standing up for what you believe in and doing it in a place that disrupts the normal function of whatever's happening. Whether it's the flow of traffic or, some type of event where people don't want you, like a sporting event where Colin Kaepernick took a knee during the national anthem and people didn't like that. Okay, they told him to get out, get him off the field. He have to force to be standing during the national anthem. But that's what, there's a time and place for. This is the time and this is the place right here and now. That's what a protest is all about. Drawing attention to your cause. Okay? You can't do that if you're protesting over in the corner at the appropriate time and the appropriate place. So, my hats goes off to the NBA players, okay? And to the jackasses who don't understand, that's just too bad. Because without all the young white people who protested during the summertime, we would not have the change that's necessary for progress in this country. But when I hear superstars like Brett Favre disagreeing with that, I have to say something. So Brett Favre might as well join those jackasses on Fox News who tells basketball players, and instead of saying something about social or racial injustice, just shut up and dribble. No, you shut up and dribble, bitch. Okay? These guys can stand up for what they believe in. In fact, they should be standing up for what they believe in instead of taking the Republicans by sneakers too attitude that Jordan took back when he was asked about different political issues and social issues. He didn't want to upset the Republicans because they buy sneakers, which is I'm not saying Jordan's a bad guy. He's not a bad guy, but probably should have he's donated a lot of money to charities, and those charities probably wouldn't have survived without Jordan. So he deserves some credit, but he probably should have taken a stance a long time ago on whatever it is he believes. If that's what he believes, that in nothing, then okay, that's fine. But I don't think that's it. I think he was just didn't want to get involved. It's better for business if you don't get involved, and that's what he was doing at the time. But some people get involved, but they get involved on the wrong side of the issues. Like, that's what Brett Favre did, and that's what some of these other coaches are doing. And if I was a top athlete, or if I had a kid, a son, who was a highly recruited athlete, I'd tell him not to play for coaches who are believing in certain things that are nonsensical and that are opposed to progress and are opposed to racial and social justice. I would tell my kid, don't play for that guy. I don't care who he coaches for and how much winning they've done. Don't play for someone who's a dick face. But maybe that's just me. All right, moving on.